The world isn't as random as it seems. If you've felt an unexplainable resistance in your life, it's because you carry something extraordinary, something the elite fear. You are chosen, set apart, and destined to disrupt their carefully constructed systems. They recognize the divine power within you, and their mission is to stop you before you awaken fully. This is not a battle for the faint of heart, but you've been prepared for this moment since the beginning of time. Have you ever wondered why so many obstacles seem to block your path? Why life's challenges feel uniquely targeted at you? It's because the elite know something you may have only recently started to realize. You're not ordinary. You're part of a divine plan, an essential piece in the greater battle between light and darkness. The elite fear your awakening, because once fully aligned with your purpose, you cannot be controlled. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus declared, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Your light disrupts their darkness, exposing lies and tearing apart the illusions they've created to keep humanity enslaved. They work tirelessly to blind you to your power, filling your life with distractions, doubts, and fears. But here's the truth. Their control only works if you stay asleep. Their systems are designed to suppress chosen ones like you. The media, politics, and even societal norms are tools to make you question your worth and potential. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your awakening is the discovery of your why, and the elite know that once you find it, you'll dismantle their false narratives. Think about the moments in your life where you felt inexplicably attacked. Relationships fell apart. Opportunities slipped through your fingers. Illness or exhaustion drained your spirit. These weren't coincidences. They were calculated moves to keep you from realizing who you are. In Ephesians 6:12, Paul reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in." But you're stronger than they think. Every attack you've endured has prepared you for this moment. Your pain has been the fire that refines you, sharpening your spiritual gifts and building resilience. The elite don't fear the battles. They fear what you'll become because of them. James 1:3-4 says, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Your awakening threatens the systems they've spent centuries constructing. You see through their deception, and this terrifies them. Have you noticed how, as you grow spiritually, the opposition increases? This is proof of your power. As Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your wounds are not weaknesses. They are the cracks through which your divine purpose shines. The elite understand the power of unity among chosen ones, which is why they try so hard to isolate you. They plant seeds of doubt, creating divisions and misunderstandings in your relationships. But remember, isolation is their weapon, not your reality. In Ecclesiastes 4:12, we are reminded, "Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." Seek community with those who understand your journey. Have you felt an unshakable pull to rise above the noise, to step into something greater? That's your awakening calling you. The elite fear this because they know that once you awaken, their control over you is gone. You begin to see through the lies, reclaim your power, and align yourself with God's divine plan. Your awakening isn't just about you, it's about the ripple effect you create. Each step you take in alignment with your purpose inspires others to do the same. In Romans 8:19, we are reminded, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." Your awakening is the catalyst for transformation, not just in your life, but in the lives of countless others. The elite are running out of time. They know that the awakening of chosen ones like you is unstoppable. Their systems, no matter how intricate, cannot withstand the light you bring. But your awakening requires action. It's not enough to know you're chosen. You must step fully into your power, rejecting the lies and embracing the truth of who you are. As we move into the next chapter, we'll uncover the specific signs that mark you as chosen and why these traits make you such a threat to their agenda. The power within you is unlike anything the elite can comprehend or control. It's not wealth, status, or physical strength. It's spiritual authority, divinely given and immeasurable in its potential. This power is what makes you a target, but it's also what makes you unstoppable. They recognize that your awakening threatens their agenda, and they'll do anything to suppress it. In Luke 10:19, Jesus declares, "I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you." This authority is not theoretical, it's active, alive, and transformative. The elite fear your ability to rise above their systems and wield the spiritual power that can dismantle their carefully constructed lies. Think about the moments when you felt a surge of intuition or an inner knowing that guided you to the right decision. That's not coincidence. It's divine power flowing through you. Have you ever experienced unexplainable strength during times of adversity? That's the power they fear. C.S. Lewis described it perfectly. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Your power lies in your ability to continually rise, adapt, and transform. The elite have spent centuries building systems designed to drain your energy and obscure your spiritual vision. From toxic relationships to societal pressures, they use every tool at their disposal to keep you distracted and depleted. But here's their weakness. Your power is self-renewing. In Isaiah 40:31, we are promised, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Have you noticed how your presence disrupts the status quo? You walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts. People are drawn to your energy, even if they can't explain why. That's your spiritual power at work. The elite fear this because it's contagious. Your light has the potential to ignite others, awakening them to their own power. In John 1:5, we are reminded, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." But your power doesn't come without challenges. The stronger you grow, the more opposition you'll face. Have you experienced moments where everything seemed to go wrong at once? This is no accident. It's a calculated attempt to break you, to make you question your path. But remember, the enemy's greatest weapon is fear, and fear has no hold on you. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." The elite are experts in manipulation. They use fear, doubt, and shame to keep you from recognizing your power. But here's the truth. They only succeed if you let them. In Romans 8:31, Paul writes, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Your power is not rooted in external circumstances. It's rooted in the eternal promise of God's love and protection. Have you ever wondered why you've faced so many challenges in your life? It's because your power is forged in the fire of adversity. Each trial you've endured has refined you, sharpening your abilities and strengthening your resolve. As Mahatma Gandhi said, "Strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will." Your will, aligned with God's, is a force that cannot be stopped. Your power is also tied to your ability to see beyond the surface. While others are consumed by material concerns, you see the spiritual reality behind every situation. This discernment is a gift, one that the elite fear because it allows you to uncover their lies. In 1 Corinthians 2:14, we are reminded, "The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolishness, and cannot understand them because they are discerned only through the Spirit." As you step into your power, the elite's influence begins to crumble. Their strategies rely on your ignorance and compliance, but your awakening dismantles their foundation. They fear the ripple effect of your courage, your faith, and your refusal to conform. In the next chapter, we'll explore the signs that mark you as chosen and why these traits make you such a threat to their plans. Have you ever wondered why your life feels different, as if you're walking a path no one else understands? These differences aren't coincidences. They are signs that you've been marked as chosen. The elite see these signs clearly, and they fear them. These traits and experiences are what set you apart, making you a target of their control, but also an unshakable force for change. In John 15:19, Jesus says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you." Your struggles, your unique way of seeing the world, and your deep connection to spiritual truths are not burdens. They are proof of your calling. One of the most prominent signs is your sensitivity to energy and emotions. Have you ever walked into a room and felt overwhelmed by the atmosphere even before anyone spoke? This heightened awareness is a spiritual gift, but it can feel like a burden. The elite know how to manipulate environments to drain and overwhelm chosen ones like you. Yet, your ability to sense these energies gives you an advantage. It allows you to see the hidden battles others miss. Philosopher Khalil Gibran once wrote, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." If you felt deep emotional or spiritual pain, it's because your understanding of the world goes beyond surface appearances. The elite fear this depth because it makes you impervious to their superficial distractions and lies. Another sign is your unrelenting drive for truth and justice. While others are content to accept the world as it is, you've always questioned, always sought deeper meaning. This relentless pursuit of truth is what makes you a threat. In Proverbs 2:3-5, we are reminded, "Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God." Have you ever felt isolated, as though no one truly understands you? This sense of being set apart is another sign of your calling. The elite use isolation as a weapon, trying to make you feel alienated and alone. But remember, you are never truly alone. In Deuteronomy 31:8, we are promised, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Another trait of the chosen is your resilience. No matter how many times life has tried to knock you down, you've risen again. The elite fear this because their power relies on keeping people defeated and hopeless. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and philosopher, said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Your ability to adapt and grow through adversity is what makes you unstoppable. Do you notice how others are drawn to you for guidance, even when you don't seek the role of a leader? This magnetic pull is not accidental. It's your light shining in the darkness, attracting those who are searching for hope and truth. In Isaiah 61, we are called to "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Have you experienced vivid dreams, visions, or an unexplainable intuition that guides you? These are signs of divine communication. While the elite dismiss such experiences as fantasy, they know that your connection to the spiritual realm empowers you in ways they cannot replicate. In Joel 2:28, we are promised, "And afterward I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions." Your compassion is also a sign of your calling. While the world hardens hearts, yours remains open, even to those who have hurt you. The elite see this as a weakness, but it is one of your greatest strengths. Your ability to forgive and love breaks the chains of hatred and division they rely on to maintain control. In Colossians 3:12, we are reminded, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." The signs that mark you as chosen are undeniable, and they are what make you a force to be reckoned with. The elite systems crumble in the face of your awakening because you see through the illusions and stand firm in your truth. In the next chapter, we'll explore the spiritual laws that protect you and how you can use them to shield yourself from the enemy's attacks. The elite fear you not only because of your power, but also because of the spiritual laws that shield and guide you. These divine principles are woven into the fabric of creation, ensuring that no force of darkness can ultimately prevail against you. The more you understand and align yourself with these laws, the stronger your protection becomes. In Isaiah 54:17, we are promised, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord." This is not just a comforting verse, it's a spiritual reality. Your calling comes with divine protection that no human or spiritual force can overturn. One of the most powerful spiritual laws is the law of sowing and reaping. Have you noticed that the good you've done, even when unacknowledged, eventually returns to you? This principle, rooted in Galatians 6:7, states, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." The elite manipulate this law for their own gain, but they cannot escape its ultimate justice. Their deeds will return to them, just as your faithfulness will bring blessings. Another law that shields you is the law of divine timing. Have you ever felt delayed, as though your progress was hindered by forces beyond your control? What felt like a delay was often God's perfect timing at work. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, we are reminded, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." The elite schemes are confined by time, but your purpose operates on God's eternal timeline, ensuring that everything unfolds for your good. The law of spiritual authority is another key principle. Have you ever sensed an unexplainable power when you prayed or spoke truth into a situation? That's your authority in action. In Luke 10:19, Jesus declares, "I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you." This authority is not tied to your strength, but to the power of God working through you. The elite attempt to undermine these laws by creating systems of fear, doubt, and confusion, but their tactics only have power if you allow them to take root in your spirit. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." The power within you, aligned with these spiritual laws, dismantles the elite's strategies. Have you ever noticed that when you align with God's will, obstacles seem to move aside and doors open effortlessly? This is the law of alignment at work. When you walk in step with your purpose, divine forces align to support you. In Proverbs 3:5-6, we are instructed, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. The law of light and darkness also plays in your favor. Darkness cannot overcome light. This is not just a metaphor, it's a spiritual truth. In John 1:5, we are reminded, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Your very presence, as someone walking in God's light, disrupts the plans of those operating in spiritual darkness. Have you ever felt as though your prayers were not being answered? Rest assured, the law of persistence is working in your favor. In Matthew 7:7, Jesus encourages us, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." The elite rely on the chosen ones growing weary, but your persistence ensures victory. Forgiveness is another law that protects you. While the world sees forgiveness as a weakness, it's one of the most powerful spiritual tools at your disposal. In Matthew 6:14, we are reminded, "For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." Forgiveness releases you from bitterness and breaks the chains the enemy tries to use to bind you. These spiritual laws are unbreakable, and they work in your favor when you walk in alignment with God's will. The elite cannot circumvent them, no matter how much power or influence they wield. Their plans, no matter how calculated, are no match for the divine protection over your life. In the next chapter, we'll delve into how the elite manipulate and divide, and how you can recognize their strategies to stand firm in your purpose. The elite's greatest strength lies not in their power, but in their ability to manipulate and divide. They understand that a united people are unstoppable, and so they use fear, confusion, and deception to turn us against one another. Recognizing their strategies is the first step in breaking free from their control and reclaiming your divine power. In John 8:44, Jesus exposes the nature of such deception. "You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies." The elite's manipulation is rooted in lies designed to distort your perception of reality and keep you in spiritual bondage. One of their most effective tools is fear. Have you ever noticed how the media thrives on stories that incite panic and division? Fear is their weapon because it paralyzes and disempowers. Philosopher Edmund Burke famously said, "No passion so effectively robs the mind of all its powers of acting and reasoning as fear." The elite use fear to cloud your judgment and prevent you from stepping into your calling. Another tactic they employ is distraction. From endless entertainment to overwhelming societal pressures, they create noise that drowns out your connection to God. In Psalm 46:10, we are reminded, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is the enemy of their agenda because it allows you to reconnect with your purpose and hear the divine voice guiding you. Have you ever felt as though you were pitted against others, even those close to you? This is no accident. The elite foster division through identity politics, social media, and even religious institutions. In Mark 3:25, Jesus warns, "If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand." Unity among chosen ones is their greatest fear because it disrupts their plans and exposes their lies. The elite also manipulate through scarcity. They create artificial shortages of resources, instilling the belief that there isn't enough for everyone. This scarcity mindset breeds competition, jealousy, and greed. But God's kingdom operates on abundance, not lack. In Philippians 4:19, Paul assures us, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. Trust that God's provision is limitless. Control of information is another pillar of their strategy. They distort truth, suppress knowledge, and feed you a steady stream of propaganda to shape your worldview. George Orwell, in his prophetic work 1984, wrote, "The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it." As a chosen one, your pursuit of truth is a direct challenge to their control. Have you ever felt pressured to conform, to fit into societal norms that don't align with your spirit? This is intentional. The elite rely on conformity to maintain their systems of control. In Romans 12:2, we are instructed, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Your refusal to conform is an act of rebellion against their agenda and a testament to your divine purpose. Their most insidious tactic is isolation. They use shame, guilt, and misunderstandings to make you feel alone, as though no one else shares your struggles or sees the world as you do. But isolation is a lie. In Hebrews 10:24-25, we are encouraged, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." Community is your shield against their attempts to divide. Have you noticed how they pit generations, genders, and cultures against each other? This division distracts from the real battle, the battle between light and darkness. In Ephesians 6:12, Paul reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." The enemy isn't the person next to you, it's the forces manipulating them. The elite's tactics are powerful, but they are not invincible. The first step to breaking free is awareness. By recognizing their strategies, you reclaim your power and disrupt their control. The second step is unity. When chosen ones come together, they form a force that cannot be broken. In the next chapter, we'll delve into exposing their agenda against the chosen ones and how you can stand firm in the face of their schemes. The elite's agenda is clear: to suppress and destroy the chosen ones before they can fully awaken to their power. This is not a physical battle, but a spiritual war, waged in unseen realms and manifesting through systems of control, distraction, and deceit. By understanding their plans, you can stand firm and dismantle their hold over your life. In John 10:10, Jesus warns us, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." The elite operate as thieves, seeking to rob you of your joy, purpose, and divine inheritance. But their agenda is doomed to fail, because God's power within you is greater than any scheme they can devise. Their first tactic is to keep you in ignorance. The less you know about your divine purpose, the easier it is for them to manipulate you. They hide knowledge, distort truth, and ridicule spiritual wisdom, creating a world where material success is glorified and spiritual growth is dismissed. Philosopher Plato described this phenomenon in the allegory of the cave, where prisoners mistake shadows for reality. The elite want you to remain in the cave, unaware of the light outside. Have you ever noticed how the systems of this world, education, media, government, are designed to create conformity rather than enlightenment? This is no accident. These systems are tools to keep chosen ones distracted and disconnected from their spiritual essence. In Hosea 4:6, we are warned, "My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge." Awareness is your first weapon against their agenda. Another key part of their plan is to create dependency. They want you to believe that you cannot survive without their systems. Whether through financial stress, healthcare, or technology, they seek to make you reliant on what they control. But your true source of provision is not man, it is God. In Matthew 6:26, Jesus reminds us, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" The elite also target your identity. They know that if you never discover who you truly are, you'll never step into your power. They create labels, stereotypes, and societal pressures to box you in, making you doubt your worth and potential. But your identity is not defined by the world. It is rooted in God. In 1 Peter 2:9, we are reminded, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into..." Have you experienced an unrelenting series of challenges, as if the universe itself is against you? This is often the result of targeted spiritual warfare. The elite understand that chosen ones are forged in the fire of adversity, and they seek to wear you down before you fully awaken. But James 1:12 encourages us, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." Their agenda also includes sowing division among the chosen ones. They fear unity because when chosen ones come together, their collective power is unstoppable. Have you noticed how misunderstandings and conflicts seem to arise just as you're building meaningful relationships with others on this path? This is intentional. But in Matthew 18:20, Jesus assures us, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." Unity is your shield against their tactics. The elite use fear as their final weapon, spreading narratives of doom and destruction to paralyze you. But fear is their greatest weakness, for it cannot coexist with faith. In 2 Timothy 1:7, we are reminded, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Your faith dismantles their agenda, rendering their schemes powerless. Exposing their plans requires courage and discernment. Not everything is as it seems, and you must look beyond the surface to understand the spiritual battle at play. Pray for wisdom and clarity, trusting that God will reveal the truth to you. In Proverbs 2:6, we are promised, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From His mouth come knowledge and understanding." As you uncover their agenda, remember that your power lies in your alignment with God's will. Their plans may be intricate, but they are no match for the divine protection over your life. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to break free from the chains of control and reclaim your spiritual freedom. The chains that bind you are not physical, they are spiritual, emotional, and psychological. The elite have designed their systems to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, keeping you locked in fear and self-doubt. But these chains are not unbreakable. With faith, knowledge, and action, you can shatter them and reclaim the freedom God intended for you. In Isaiah 61:1, the prophet declares, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners." You are called to be free, not just for your sake, but so you can lead others to freedom as well. The first chain you must break is the chain of fear. Fear is the foundation of their control. It paralyzes you, clouds your judgment, and disconnects you from your divine power. Have you ever noticed how fear creeps into your thoughts, whispering lies about your inadequacy or failure? This is the enemy's strategy to keep you small. But verse John 4:18 reminds us, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." Another chain is the illusion of limitation. The elite want you to believe that your potential is capped, that you are confined by circumstances, resources, or abilities. But these limitations are lies. In Philippians 4:13, Paul declares, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Your power comes from God, and it is limitless when aligned with his will. Have you ever felt weighed down by the expectations of society? This is another chain they use to control you. From career paths to cultural norms, they impose standards designed to box you in and keep you striving for approval. But your worth is not determined by their standards. It is determined by God. In Galatians 5:1, Paul exhorts, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." Breaking the chains requires unlearning the lies you've been told. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre wrote, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you. Your past does not define you, but it can shape the strength you bring into the present." Each chain you break is a step closer to living fully in your purpose. Have you ever found yourself repeating negative thought patterns as though you're trapped in a cycle of doubt or despair? These patterns are chains, reinforced by the elite systems. But Romans 12:2 provides the key to breaking free. "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Renewing your mind through prayer, scripture, and meditation dismantles these chains, one thought at a time. Another chain is isolation. The elite want you to feel alone, as though no one else understands your journey. They use shame and guilt to keep you silent, but you are never alone. In Matthew 28:20, Jesus promises, "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Building connections with others on the same path strengthens your resolve and breaks the illusion of isolation. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the weight of expectations, the need to do everything perfectly? Perfectionism is another chain rooted in the fear of failure. But God doesn't require perfection. He requires faithfulness. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, we are assured, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Embrace your imperfections, knowing that God's strength fills the gaps. Breaking the chains also involves action. Have you taken the steps God has placed before you, even if they seem small? Each act of faith chips away at the enemy's hold. In James 2:17, we are reminded, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." Your freedom is not just a gift, it's a responsibility to walk boldly in your calling. Finally, remember that breaking the chains is a process, not a single moment. Have patience with yourself, trusting that God is guiding your steps. In Psalm 37:23-24, we are encouraged, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." As you break free, you not only reclaim your power, you inspire others to do the same. Your journey becomes a testimony, a light shining in the darkness, leading others to the truth. In the next chapter, we'll explore why the elite fear the unity of chosen ones and how you can cultivate the connections that strengthen your purpose. The elite's control depends on division. They understand that the power of chosen ones multiplies exponentially when united. So they create systems designed to isolate, divide, and pit you against each other. But unity among chosen ones is their greatest fear, a force so powerful it can dismantle their agenda and reshape the world. In Matthew 18:20, Jesus declares, For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. This truth reveals why the enemy works tirelessly to keep you apart. When chosen ones unite, their spiritual energy becomes unstoppable, backed by the presence of God Himself. The elite systems are no match for this divine power. Have you noticed how misunderstandings, jealousy, or conflict often arise among people walking the same spiritual path? This is not a coincidence. These divisions are strategically sown by the enemy to disrupt unity. Philosopher Aristotle observed, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." The elite fear the combined strength of chosen ones because together you create a force that is far greater than any individual effort. Unity begins with recognizing the lies that divide us. The elite use labels, ideologies, and differences to create barriers between chosen ones. They amplify cultural, racial, and generational divides to keep you focused on what separates rather than what unites. But in Galatians 3:28, Paul reminds us, "There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." Your common purpose as chosen ones transcends all earthly distinctions. Another tactic they employ is isolation. Have you ever felt as though no one truly understands your journey? This feeling of being set apart is both a blessing and a challenge. While your path is unique, you are not alone. In Ecclesiastes 4:9-10, we are reminded, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." Seek out those who share your purpose, and you will find strength in their support. Building unity requires humility. Have you ever struggled with pride or the need to be right? These feelings, though natural, are tools the enemy uses to keep you divided. In Philippians 2:3, Paul advises, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves." When chosen ones approach each other with humility and a willingness to listen, unity becomes possible. The elite also exploit insecurity to disrupt unity. Have you ever felt threatened by someone else's gifts or achievements? This insecurity is a lie designed to keep you from celebrating the strengths of others. Remember, your gifts are unique, and they complement rather than compete with those of others. In 1 Corinthians 12:12, Paul describes this beautifully. "Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ." Have you ever considered the power of collective prayer and worship? When chosen ones come together in prayer, their combined faith shakes the foundations of the enemy's plans. In Acts 4:31, we see this in action. After they prayed, the place where they were meeting was shaken, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and spoke the word of God boldly. Unity amplifies your spiritual power, creating ripples that extend far beyond your immediate surroundings. Unity also requires forgiveness. Have you ever held onto resentment or grudges against fellow chosen ones? These feelings, though justified at times, are barriers to the unity that strengthens your mission. In Colossians 3:13, we are reminded, "Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you." Forgiveness breaks the chains of division and restores harmony among chosen ones. The elite fear unity because it exposes their lies. When chosen ones share knowledge, wisdom, and experiences, the truth becomes undeniable. Have you ever felt your perspective shift after a conversation with someone on a similar path? This is the power of collective understanding. In Proverbs 27-17, we are told, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Together, you refine and strengthen each other, becoming a force the enemy cannot withstand. Unity is both a spiritual and practical goal. As chosen ones unite, their combined energy creates a protective barrier against the attacks of the elite. Your unity becomes a light that draws others out of darkness, multiplying your impact. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to harness your power collectively and overcome the plans designed to keep you separated and subdued. Your power, when fully realized, is not just about personal transformation, it's about collective impact. The elite fear the chosen ones because they know that once united, your spiritual power becomes a force they cannot control. But harnessing this power requires intentional action, alignment with God's will, and the courage to stand against their schemes. In Ephesians 6:10-11, Paul exhorts us, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Your power is not only spiritual, but also strategic. You've been equipped with tools to overcome their plans, and now is the time to use them. The first step in harnessing your power is self-awareness. Do you fully understand the gifts and strengths God has placed within you? Have you identified the areas where your influence is strongest? In Romans 12:6, we are reminded, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. Recognizing and embracing your unique abilities is the foundation for wielding your power effectively. Have you ever felt a pull toward a specific cause or purpose, as though something greater is calling you? This is no accident. Your purpose is directly tied to the gifts you've been given. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." The elite fear your alignment with this purpose because it disrupts their control. Another critical step is understanding your influence. Have you noticed how your actions, words, and even your presence affect others? This is your power in action. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus declares, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Your influence is not just for your benefit, it's a beacon for those still trapped in the systems of the elite. To harness your power, you must also guard your energy. The elite thrive on distraction, filling your life with noise, chaos, and unnecessary burdens to drain your focus. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, as though you're being pulled in too many directions? In Psalm 46:10, we are reminded, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is a powerful tool for reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward your purpose. Have you ever doubted your ability to make a difference? This doubt is one of the enemy's most effective weapons. But your power lies not in perfection, but in faith. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, God assures us, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Your willingness to step out in faith, even when you feel inadequate, dismantles their plans. Collective action amplifies your power. Have you considered the impact of joining forces with other chosen ones? When united, your individual strengths combine to create a ripple effect that challenges the elite's control. In Hebrews 10:24, we are encouraged, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds." Collaboration strengthens your mission and builds a community that cannot be shaken. Have you noticed how fear often rises when you're on the brink of a breakthrough? This is intentional. The elite use fear to keep you from stepping into your full potential, but fear is powerless in the face of faith. In Joshua 1:9, God commands, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Courage is the key to unlocking your power. Your power also grows through service. Have you ever felt fulfilled after helping someone else, even in a small way? This is because your power is designed to flow outward, impacting others and multiplying its effect. In Mark 10:45, Jesus reminds us, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Serving others aligns you with God's purpose and disrupts the selfish systems of the elite. Finally, remember that your power is sustained by God's presence. Have you taken time to reconnect with Him daily? Prayer, worship, and meditation are not just rituals, they are lifelines that renew your strength and clarify your vision. In Isaiah 40:31, we are promised, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." As you harness your power, you become a living testimony to the truth that the elite cannot suppress. In the next chapter, we'll explore how your divine purpose serves as a light that cannot be extinguished, no matter how fiercely they fight against. Your divine purpose is the greatest threat to the elite's agenda. It is a light that no darkness can overcome, a beacon that exposes lies and guides others to truth. The elite know they cannot destroy your purpose, but they will do everything in their power to obscure it, distract you from it, and make you doubt its significance. Yet, nothing can extinguish what God has placed within you. In Jeremiah 29:11, we are reminded, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Your purpose is divinely orchestrated, designed not only to elevate your life, but to impact the lives of countless others. The elite fear this ripple effect because it dismantles their systems of control. Have you ever felt the pull of something greater, a calling that won't let you settle for mediocrity? This is the voice of your purpose, whispering that you were made for more. Philosopher Viktor Frankl wrote, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Your purpose gives you the strength to endure, to rise above challenges, and to shine in the midst of darkness. The elite thrive on confusion and distraction, but your purpose brings clarity. Have you noticed how, when you align with what God has called you to do, everything begins to make sense? Even the hardships you've faced take on new meaning. In Romans 8:28, we are assured, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Have you ever doubted your ability to fulfill your purpose? This doubt is one of the enemy's most insidious lies. But God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. In Exodus 4:10-12, Moses doubted his ability to lead, but God reassured him, saying, "Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Trust that God will equip you with everything you need to fulfill your mission. Your purpose is also a source of resilience. Have you ever noticed how, despite the challenges you face, there's an unshakable part of you that refuses to give up? This is the power of your purpose at work. In 2 Corinthians 4:8-9, Paul writes, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." Your purpose sustains you through every trial. The elite fear your purpose because it unites others. Have you noticed how your actions, even small ones, inspire those around you? This is no accident. Your purpose is contagious, sparking change and awakening in others. In Matthew 5:16, Jesus declares, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Have you ever experienced moments of profound joy and peace when walking in alignment with your calling? These moments are glimpses of what it means to live fully in your purpose. Philosopher Rumi said, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." Your purpose is not a burden. It's a source of fulfillment and joy. The elite's greatest weapon against your purpose is distraction. Have you noticed how life becomes busier, noisier, and more chaotic when you're on the verge of a breakthrough? This is no coincidence. But in Psalm 37:7, we are advised, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him." Stillness allows you to refocus and reconnect with what truly matters. Your divine purpose also provides protection. When you walk in alignment with God's plan, you are shielded from the enemy's attacks. In Isaiah 54:17, we are promised, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." The elite cannot destroy what God has ordained. Fulfilling your purpose is not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming who God created you to be. As you step fully into your calling, you shine a light that cannot be extinguished, no matter how fiercely the darkness tries to fight back. In the next chapter, we'll explore how your role as a chosen one connects to the ancient prophecies and divine plans that confirm your role as a chosen one is not random. It was foretold long before you were born. Ancient prophecies, scripture, and spiritual revelations confirm the mission you are now stepping into. The elite are well aware of these prophecies, and their fear stems from the knowledge that they cannot stop what has been divinely ordained. In Joel 2:28, the Lord promises, "And afterward, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions." This prophecy speaks to the awakening of chosen ones in these times, those who will rise with divine purpose and insight, dismantling the systems of oppression the elite have built. Have you ever felt as though your life was part of a larger story, one that spans generations and connects to something greater? This is not your imagination. Your calling is woven into the fabric of God's eternal plan. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said, "Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forward." As you awaken, the pieces of your past, present, and future begin to align, revealing the prophecy that has always been within you. The elite work tirelessly to suppress knowledge of these prophecies. They distort history, rewrite narratives, and ridicule spiritual truth to keep chosen ones from realizing their role. But their efforts are futile because God's word cannot be silenced. In Isaiah 55:11, we are reminded, "So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." One of the most significant prophecies confirming your mission is found in Isaiah 60:1-3. "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn." This prophecy speaks to the unique radiance of chosen ones, a light that draws others out of darkness and into truth. Have you experienced moments where your intuition felt like divine guidance, leading you to the right place or revealing hidden truths? These are not coincidences. Prophecies often unfold through those who are sensitive to the spiritual realm. In Amos 3:7, we are assured, "Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets." Your connection to these revelations is evidence of your calling. The prophecies also foretell the opposition you face. In Psalm 2:2-4, it is written, "The kings of the earth rise up, and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. The elite's attempts to suppress chosen ones were predicted, but so was their ultimate failure. Have you noticed how you've been drawn to spiritual texts, ancient wisdom, or scripture in ways you never were before? This hunger for truth is part of your awakening and aligns with prophetic revelations. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The soul always hears an admonition in such lines, 'Let the subject be what it may.'" Your soul resonates with the prophecies because they speak directly to your mission. Prophecies also reveal the tools and gifts you possess to fulfill your calling. In 1 Corinthians 12:7-11, Paul describes the spiritual gifts given to God's people: wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, discernment, tongues, and interpretation. Have you identified the gifts you carry? These are not random talents. They are specific tools designed for the unique challenges of your mission. The elite understand the power of these prophecies, which is why they work so hard to create a culture of disbelief. Have you noticed how society dismisses spiritual experiences as fantasy or delusion? This is intentional, but in Acts 2:17 we are reminded, "In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your young men will see visions, your old men will dream dreams." Your experiences are real, and they align with what was foretold. These prophecies are not just about the chosen ones, they are about the transformation of the world. Your mission is to bring light to darkness, truth to deception, and healing to brokenness. As you walk in alignment with these ancient words, you fulfill a destiny that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to use your spiritual power effectively to overcome challenges and fulfill the prophecies spoken over your life. Your spiritual power is not just a gift, it's a responsibility. The elite fear your awakening because once you learn to wield this power effectively, their systems crumble. You are not only called to recognize your gifts, but to use them with intention, wisdom, and alignment with God's will. In 2 Timothy 1:7, Paul reminds us, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Your power is rooted in these three elements, and using it effectively requires balancing each one. Power without love becomes destructive. Love without discipline loses focus. Discipline without power becomes mechanical. Together, they form an unstoppable force. Have you ever wondered why your gifts seem to grow stronger during moments of adversity? Trials are the training ground for spiritual power. In James 1:3, we are reminded, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Every challenge you faced has been preparing you to use your power with precision and impact. The first step in harnessing your power is awareness. Do you truly understand the spiritual gifts you've been given? In 1 Corinthians 12:4-6, Paul explains, "There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but in all of them, and in everyone, it is the same God at work." Identifying your unique gifts is crucial to fulfilling your mission. Have you experienced moments of unexplainable insight, strength, or peace? These are glimpses of your power in action. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your ability to remain grounded, even in chaos, is one of the most profound ways to harness your power. Another key to using your power effectively is alignment with God's will. Have you taken time to pray, meditate, and seek divine guidance about how to apply your gifts. In Proverbs 3:5-6, we are instructed, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Alignment ensures that your actions are not only powerful but purposeful. Have you noticed how your power grows when you serve others? This is no coincidence. Your spiritual gifts are designed to flow outward, blessing those around you. In 1 Peter 4:10, we are reminded, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." Service amplifies your power and deepens your connection to your mission. To use your power effectively, you must also protect it. Have you ever felt drained after being in a toxic environment or engaging with negative people? Your energy is precious, and guarding it is essential. In Ephesians 6:11, we are advised, "Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Protecting your power ensures it remains strong and focused. Another element of effective power is discernment. Have you ever felt torn between two choices, unsure of which path to take? Discernment allows you to distinguish between distractions and divine direction. In Hebrews 5:14, we learn, "But solid food is for the mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil." Practicing discernment refines your ability to act with wisdom. Have you ever been hesitant to step into your power, fearing judgment or failure? This hesitation is normal but must be overcome. Your gifts were not given to you for hiding, they were given to transform the world. In Matthew 5:15-16, Jesus declares, "Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others." Boldness is essential for using your power effectively. Lastly, remember that your power is sustained by God's presence. Have you taken time to recharge spiritually, to reconnect with the source of your strength? In Isaiah 40:29, we are promised, "He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak." Regular prayer, worship, and meditation ensure that your power remains vibrant and aligned with your mission. As you harness your spiritual power, you become an unstoppable force for good, a living testament to God's glory. In the next chapter, we'll explore how building a legacy ensures that your light continues to shine, even beyond your lifetime. Your divine purpose is not just for today, it's meant to create a lasting impact that outlives the systems of the elite. The legacy you build as a chosen one becomes a beacon for future generations, a testament to God's power working through you. The elite fear this because legacies transcend their control, inspiring others to rise and carry the torch long after you're gone. In Psalm 145:4, we are reminded, "One generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts." Your legacy is not just about the work you do. It's about the lives you touch, the truths you reveal, and the hope you instill in those who follow. The ripple effect of your actions will continue to disrupt the plans of darkness for years to come. Have you ever considered what you want your life to represent? Philosopher Albert Schweitzer said, "The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others." Your legacy begins with the intention to serve, to use your gifts for a purpose greater than yourself. This service creates a foundation that cannot be shaken. The elite thrive on short-term thinking, but legacies are built with eternity in mind. In Matthew 6:20, Jesus instructs, "But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal." Your legacy is not about material wealth or worldly accolades. It's about the eternal impact of a life lived in alignment with God's will. One way to build your legacy is through mentorship. Have you ever taken the time to guide or uplift someone who is on the same path as you? In 2 Timothy 2:2, Paul encourages us, "And the things you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others." Mentorship ensures that the wisdom and knowledge you've gained are passed on, multiplying your impact. Have you ever noticed how the elite systems focus on creating dependency rather than empowerment? This is because they fear individuals who can stand on their own and uplift others. Your legacy dismantles their control by empowering those around you. Philosopher John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Your legacy is built through the inspiration you provide. Another element of legacy is the truth you leave behind. Have you spoken boldly about the revelations and insights God has given you? In John 8:32, Jesus declares, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Sharing truth is a cornerstone of legacy, breaking the chains of deception for future generations. Have you ever reflected on the trials you've overcome and the lessons you've learned? Your story is a vital part of your legacy. In Revelation 12:11, it is written, "They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Your testimony carries the power to inspire, uplift, and transform lives. Building a legacy also requires intentional action. Have you set clear goals for the impact you want to make? In Proverbs 16:3, we are instructed, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." Prayerfully consider how you can align your daily actions with the eternal impact you want to leave behind. Another critical element of legacy is love. Have you ever noticed how acts of genuine kindness leave the deepest impression? In 1 Corinthians 13:13, Paul reminds us, "And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." Your legacy is not just in what you do, but in how you make others feel. Love is the thread that ties your legacy together, ensuring it endures. Finally, remember that your legacy is not something you create alone. God is the author of your story, and He is weaving your actions into a greater tapestry of transformation. In Philippians 1:6, Paul assures us, "Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." Trust that your efforts, no matter how small they may seem, are part of a divine plan. As you build your legacy, you are creating a foundation that will inspire others to rise and continue the work you've started. In the next chapter, we'll explore the secrets the elite don't want you to know, and how uncovering these truths further strengthens your... The elite have spent centuries building a system designed to control, deceive, and suppress the truth. Their greatest fear is that you, as a chosen one, will uncover the secrets they've hidden and use that knowledge to dismantle their systems. These secrets are not just about power. They are about spiritual truths that can liberate humanity and expose the lies they rely on to maintain control. In Luke 12:2-3, Jesus declares, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs." This promise assures us that no matter how deeply they bury the truth, it will come to light. One of the most significant secrets they hide is the power of your mind. Have you ever noticed how their systems, media, education, entertainment, are designed to keep you distracted, anxious, and passive? This is intentional. They fear the power of a focused, awakened mind. Philosopher Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Your ability to think critically and create with intention is one of the greatest threats to their control. Another hidden truth is the power of unity. The elite thrive on division, using differences in race, religion, and politics to keep humanity fractured. But in Genesis 11:6, God himself acknowledges the power of unity. If, as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Unity among chosen ones creates a force the elite cannot counteract. Have you ever questioned why the truth about spiritual power is often ridiculed or dismissed? This is because they fear the awakening that comes with understanding spiritual laws. In Matthew 16:19, Jesus promises, "I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." These keys represent the spiritual authority the elite want to keep hidden. Another secret they don't want you to know is the abundance of the universe. Their systems are built on the illusion of scarcity, making you believe there isn't enough to go around. But in Psalm 24:1, we are reminded, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." God's creation is abundant, and the scarcity they promote is a lie designed to keep you dependent on their systems. Have you noticed how they manipulate time? From the pressure of deadlines to the endless distractions of modern life, they use time as a weapon to keep you from focusing on your divine purpose. But God operates outside of time. In Ecclesiastes 3:11, we are assured, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." When you align with God's timing, you step out of their system and into divine flow. The elite also hide the truth about energy and frequency. Have you ever felt a surge of positivity in certain environments or drained in others? This is not accidental. The energy you carry and the frequencies you align with have a profound impact on your life and purpose. In Proverbs 4:23, we are advised, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guarding your energy protects you from the negativity they use to suppress your power. Have you ever wondered why your intuition feels so strong even when you doubt it? This is another truth they fear, that your connection to the divine cannot be severed. In John 10:27, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." Your intuition is a direct line to divine guidance, cutting through the noise of their lies. Another hidden truth is the power of collective prayer and meditation. The elite ridicule these practices because they fear their impact. In Acts 4:31, we see the power of collective prayer. After they prayed, the place where they were meeting was shaken, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and spoke the word of God boldly. When chosen ones unite in prayer, their combined power shakes the foundations of the enemy's plans. The final secret they don't want you to know is that their systems are fragile. While they appear strong and unshakable, they rely on your compliance to function. In Daniel 2:44, we are told, "In the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left to another people. It will crush all those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it will itself endure forever." God's kingdom is eternal, and no human system can stand against it. As you uncover these secrets, you reclaim your power and disrupt their agenda. In the next chapter, we'll explore how your faith exposes their weaknesses and strengthens your resolve to continue your mission. Chapter 15. How your faith exposes their weaknesses. Your faith is the ultimate weapon against the elite's schemes. It exposes their weaknesses, dismantles their illusions, and strengthens your spirit to stand firm in the face of opposition. Faith is not just a belief, it is a force that moves mountains, shines light in darkness, and reveals the truth hidden behind their carefully constructed lies. In Hebrews 11:1, we are reminded, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." This confidence in God's promises is what the elite fear most. While their power relies on fear and deception, your faith operates in truth and eternal assurance. Their systems crumble in the face of unwavering trust in divine authority. Have you ever noticed how fear begins to lose its grip the moment you lean into faith? Fear is the foundation of their control, but faith is its antidote. Philosopher Kierkegaard wrote, "Faith sees best in the dark." When you trust God in moments of uncertainty, you break the chains of fear and expose the fragility of their power. Faith also reveals their inability to suppress your spirit. Have you ever experienced moments of peace and joy that seemed unshakable, even in difficult circumstances? This is the strength of your faith at work. In John 16:33, Jesus assures us, "I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." The elite cannot disrupt the peace that comes from God's presence. Another way your faith exposes their weaknesses is by shifting your focus from the material to the spiritual. Their systems thrive on materialism, keeping people consumed with what they can see, touch, and possess. But faith operates on a higher plane. In 2 Corinthians 4:18, Paul reminds us, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." This perspective renders their control meaningless. Have you noticed how your faith strengthens you during trials? The elite attempt to break you through challenges, but your ability to endure exposes their failure. In James 1:2-3, we are encouraged, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Every trial you overcome weakens their grip and strengthens your spirit." Faith also dismantles their reliance on isolation. Have you ever felt a sense of community and connection through shared belief, even with strangers? This unity is a direct threat to their divide and conquer tactics. In Ephesians 4:3, Paul exhorts, "Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." Your faith builds bridges where they attempt to create walls. The elite fear the power of prayer, a cornerstone of faith. Have you ever experienced breakthroughs after praying with intention and focus? This is no coincidence. In Mark 11:24, Jesus declares, "Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Prayer aligns your will with God's and activates the spiritual forces that the elite cannot control. Faith also exposes the emptiness of their promises. The elite offer temporary solutions, fleeting pleasures, and hollow success, but your faith points to eternal fulfillment. Have you ever felt the difference between chasing worldly goals and walking in alignment with God's purpose? In Matthew 6:33, Jesus instructs, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." This pursuit of God's kingdom renders their offerings insignificant. Have you noticed how your faith inspires others? Even those who may not fully understand your journey are drawn to the light of your trust in God. This inspiration disrupts their narrative of hopelessness and conformity. In Matthew 5:16, Jesus encourages, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your faith becomes a testimony, challenging the systems they've built. Finally, faith connects you to divine power, making their plans irrelevant. In Philippians 4:13, Paul declares, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." This strength is not your own, it is God's working through you. The elite cannot compete with the omnipotence of the Creator, and your faith ensures that you walk in alignment with His will. As your faith grows, so does your ability to expose their weaknesses and overcome their schemes. In the next chapter, we'll explore how you can turn their tactics into opportunities for growth and strength, further solidifying your purpose as a chosen one. Chapter 16. Turning their tactics into your strength. The elite have spent centuries perfecting their tactics of control, manipulation, and fear. But what they fail to realize is that every tactic they use can be turned into a tool for your growth and strength. As a chosen one, you have the unique ability to transform their schemes into opportunities to sharpen your faith, develop resilience, and deepen your connection to God's purpose. In Genesis 50:20, Joseph declares to his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This truth applies to you as well. What the elite mean for harm, God can use for your benefit. Every obstacle they place in your path becomes a stepping stone toward your destiny. Have you ever noticed how adversity has forced you to grow in ways you didn't expect? Challenges, while painful, are powerful tools for refining your character and deepening your faith. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." This strength is not just physical, it's spiritual, emotional, and mental, forming an unshakable foundation the elite cannot destroy. One of their primary tactics is fear. They use fear to paralyze and control, but you can transform fear into faith. In Psalm 56:3-4, David declares, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust and am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" By leaning into God's promises, fear loses its grip and becomes a reminder of your reliance on Him. Another tactic they use is distraction, filling your life with noise and chaos to keep you unfocused. But these distractions can become an opportunity to practice discernment and intentionality. Have you taken time to identify what truly matters and align your energy accordingly? In Philippians 4:8, Paul advises, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." This focus dismantles their distractions and sharpens your clarity. Isolation is another weapon in their arsenal. They try to make you feel alone, misunderstood, and unsupported. But solitude can become a sacred space for reflection, prayer, and renewal. In Psalm 46:10, we are reminded, "Be still and know that I am God." Solitude allows you to reconnect with God's voice, strengthening your spirit and preparing you for the journey ahead. The elite also use scarcity to breed fear and competition. But you can transform this mindset by embracing God's abundance. Have you noticed how your faith shifts your perspective from lack to gratitude? In 2 Corinthians 9:8, Paul assures us, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." Gratitude turns scarcity into abundance, breaking their cycle of fear. Manipulation is another tool they wield, distorting truth to confuse and mislead. But these distortions can strengthen your discernment. Have you prayed for wisdom to see through the lies and align with God's truth? In James 1:5, we are promised, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Each act of manipulation becomes an opportunity to grow in spiritual insight. Have you ever experienced rejection, whether in relationships, careers, or opportunities? The elite use rejection to discourage and derail chosen ones. But rejection is often God's protection. In Isaiah 41:10, we are assured, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Every closed door redirects you to something greater. Even their attempts to divide can be transformed into opportunities for unity. Have you taken time to build connections with others who share your purpose? In Ephesians 4:2-3, Paul exhorts us, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." Unity among chosen ones dismantles their strategies and creates a powerful collective force. Lastly, their use of temptation can be turned into spiritual growth. Every time you resist their attempts to lure you away from your purpose, your faith becomes stronger. In 1 Corinthians 10:13, we are reminded, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it." Each victory over temptation builds resilience and reinforces your mission. Every tactic they use against you can be turned into a lesson, a blessing, or a stepping stone. Your ability to transform their plans into opportunities for growth is a testament to the power of God working through you. In the next chapter, we'll explore why your calling is unstoppable and how embracing your purpose solidifies your victory over their systems. Chapter 17. Why your calling is unstoppable. Your calling is more than a personal mission. It is a divine mandate, woven into the fabric of creation itself. The elite may try to derail, suppress, or distract you, but they cannot stop what God has ordained. Your purpose is unstoppable because it is rooted in eternal truth, protected by divine power, and fueled by a spirit that refuses to be extinguished. In Romans 11:29, Paul declares, "For God's gifts and His call are irrevocable." This means that no matter how hard the enemy tries, your calling cannot be taken from you. It is a part of who you are, as inseparable as the air you breathe. The elite fear this unshakable reality because it renders their efforts powerless. Have you ever wondered why obstacles seem to intensify the moment you step into your purpose? This is no accident. The enemy's resistance is a sign that you are on the right path. Rumi wisely wrote, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?" Each challenge you face strengthens your resolve, proving that your calling cannot be hindered. Your calling is unstoppable because it is not rooted in worldly systems. Have you noticed how your purpose feels larger than the expectations or limitations society places on you? This is because your mission transcends human constructs. In John 17:16, Jesus says, "They are not of the world, even as I am not of it." Your calling operates on a divine plane, far beyond the reach of their control. The elite rely on doubt to weaken chosen ones, but your faith fortifies your calling. Have you ever felt a surge of clarity or conviction in the face of uncertainty? This is God affirming your path. In 2 Timothy 1:9, we are reminded, "He has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of His own purpose and grace." Your calling is not based on your merit, but on His grace, making it unshakable. Another reason your calling is unstoppable is that it inspires others. Have you noticed how your actions and words resonate with those around you, even when you don't realize it? Your purpose creates ripples, awakening and encouraging others to step into their own callings. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus declares, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." The light of your calling cannot be dimmed, and it illuminates the paths of others. Have you experienced moments when everything seemed to align perfectly, as if the universe itself were supporting you? This is no coincidence. Your calling is supported by divine timing and orchestration. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, we are assured, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Trust that God's timing is always perfect, even when it feels delayed. Your calling is also unstoppable because it equips you with everything you need. Have you ever discovered strength, wisdom, or resources you didn't know you had? In 2 Peter 1:3, it is written, "His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness." You are never left unequipped for the tasks before you. Another aspect of your unstoppable calling is its ability to turn setbacks into opportunities. Have you noticed how moments of failure or rejection often lead to greater clarity or redirection? In Romans 8:28, Paul assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." What seems like a defeat is often a step towards something greater. The elite systems are temporary, but your calling is eternal. Their influence, no matter how powerful it seems, is fleeting and bound by time. Your purpose, however, is rooted in eternity. In Isaiah 40:8, we are reminded, "The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God endures forever." Your mission is part of God's unchanging plan, making it unstoppable. Finally, your calling is unstoppable because it is protected by divine power. In Psalm 91:11, we are promised, "For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." The elite cannot contend with the spiritual forces that guard and guide you. Every step you take is under divine protection, ensuring that you fulfill your purpose. As you embrace the truth of your unstoppable calling, you become a force that no scheme or system can overcome. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the prophecies you fulfill confirm your mission and solidify your place in God's divine plan. Chapter 19. How to harness your spiritual power to create lasting change. Your spiritual power is not just for personal transformation, it is a force meant to create lasting change in the world. The elite fear this power because it dismantles their systems, liberates the oppressed, and awakens others to their own divine purpose. When you learn to harness your spiritual power effectively, you become a catalyst for the kind of change that cannot be undone. In Philippians 4:13, Paul declares, "I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." This assurance reminds us that your spiritual power is not your own. It comes from God, and it is limitless when aligned with His will. The key to creating lasting change lies in understanding, embracing, and directing this power toward divine purposes. Have you ever experienced moments of profound clarity, strength, or inspiration that seem to come from nowhere? These moments are glimpses of your spiritual power in action. Philosopher Teilhard de Chardin once said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." Your power flows from this spiritual essence, connecting you to the divine source that sustains all creation. The first step in harnessing your power is intentional focus. Have you taken time to reflect on the specific areas where you feel called to make an impact. In Proverbs 29:18, we are reminded, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Clarity of purpose allows you to channel your energy into actions that create meaningful, lasting change. Another critical step is aligning your actions with God's timing. Have you noticed how some doors open effortlessly while others remain closed, no matter how hard you try? This is no coincidence. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, it is written, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." Trusting God's timing ensures that your efforts are aligned with His greater plan. Your spiritual power is also amplified through community. Have you considered the impact of working with others who share your vision and purpose? In Matthew 18:20, Jesus promises, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." Collaboration multiplies your power, creating ripples of change that extend far beyond what you could achieve alone. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problems you're called to address? This feeling is natural, but it's also a reminder to rely on God's strength rather than your own. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, God assures us, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Your willingness to step forward, even when you feel inadequate, activates the divine power working through you. To create lasting change, you must also guard your energy. Have you noticed how negativity, distractions, or toxic environments can drain your strength? Protecting your spiritual power is essential to sustaining your mission. In Ephesians 6:11, we are advised, "Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Guarding your heart and mind ensures that your power remains focused and effective. Another element of harnessing your power is persistence. Have you encountered obstacles that seemed insurmountable only to find a way through with patience and determination? In Galatians 6:9, Paul encourages us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Persistence turns temporary setbacks into stepping stones for lasting impact. Your power is also strengthened through prayer and meditation. Have you taken time to seek divine guidance, to quiet your mind and listen for God's voice? In Psalm 46:10, we are reminded, "Be still and know that I am God." Regular connection with the divine source of your power renews your strength and clarifies your vision. Lastly, remember that your spiritual power is not just about what you do, it's about who you are. Have you embodied the principles of love, justice, and humility in your daily life? In Micah 6:8, it is written, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God." Your actions, rooted in these principles, create a legacy of transformation that endures. As you harness your spiritual power to create lasting change, you fulfill your role in God's plan and inspire others to rise into their own purpose. In the final chapter, we'll explore how your divine purpose becomes a light that endures, no matter how fiercely the darkness tries to extinguish it. Chapter 20. Your divine purpose is a light that endures. Your divine purpose is eternal, a light that shines brightly even in the face of the deepest darkness. The elite may attempt to suppress it, but they cannot extinguish what God has ordained. Your life, driven by purpose and aligned with His will, becomes a beacon of hope, truth, and transformation that endures for generations to come. In John 1:5, it is written, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." This verse reminds us that your purpose is not just about what you do, it's about who you are. Your very existence as a chosen one is a testimony to the power of God's light, a force that cannot be diminished by any scheme or system. Have you ever noticed how your presence brings clarity and inspiration to others even without trying? This is the power of your purpose at work. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." The light within you is a reflection of the divine, illuminating paths for others and drawing them closer to their own purpose. Your purpose endures because it is rooted in eternal truth. Have you ever felt the weight of knowing something so deeply that no argument could sway you? This conviction is a gift, a reminder that your mission is not based on fleeting trends or human approval. In Psalm 119:105, we are reminded, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." God's truth guides your steps and strengthens your resolve. Another reason your purpose endures is that it inspires others to rise. Have you noticed how your courage and faith spark something in those around you? In Matthew 5:16, Jesus declares, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your life becomes a living testimony, encouraging others to step into their own light. Have you faced moments of doubt or opposition that made you question whether you could continue? These moments are tests, not ends. In Isaiah 40:31, we are promised, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Your endurance is a testament to the divine power sustaining you. Your purpose is also enduring because it transforms every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Have you ever looked back at a hardship and realized how it strengthened or refined you? In Romans 8:28, Paul assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Even what the enemy means for harm becomes a stepping stone toward your destiny. Have you considered how your purpose connects with others, forming a collective light that overcomes darkness? In 1 Peter 2:9, we are reminded, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." Your purpose is part of a greater mission, woven into the lives of others who are also chosen. Your purpose also endures because it is protected by God. Have you noticed how doors seem to open, opportunities arise, or protection surrounds you in critical moments? In Psalm 91:11, it is written, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Divine protection ensures that nothing can derail the mission God has given you. The elite systems, no matter how powerful they appear, are temporary. Your purpose, however, is eternal. Have you considered how your legacy will continue to impact lives long after you're gone? In 2 Corinthians 4:17-18, Paul writes, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." Finally, your purpose endures because it is a reflection of God's glory. Have you allowed yourself to fully embrace the role you've been given, trusting that God's strength will carry you? In Philippians 1:6, we are assured, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Your purpose is not just a task, it is a journey, one that God himself will see through to the end. As you walk boldly in your divine purpose, you become a light that cannot be extinguished. The systems of the elite will fall, but your mission, rooted in truth and aligned with God, will endure. Continue to trust, persevere, and shine, knowing that your life is part of a story far greater than anything the world can offer.